Welcome to this week's episode of Ezentuary. We left off last time with you guys camping, having a long rest through the night, and awakening the next morning on a bluff that overlooks this shanty seaside town occupied by merfolk.
Well,
Alrighty then.
that was a much needed rest.
Yes. I have thought up some blueprints.
Oh,
The Prince of Blue?
Sure. guess
She just
What
found
do
some
they call
prints and choked him.
Yeah,
They call them maps on how to make stuff.
there you go, sure.
so
So-
what would you say our plan is going back into the city?
Well, I was probably gonna find the people I was talking to before and show them my ideas for fishing innovations.
Okay.
And you guys try not to.
And this one
start
may show
another
them
war.
ideas for Mamba innovations.
For what innovations?
Mamba of
The
black
Black Mamba.
variety. Very innovative. Put that face.
Okay.
Yes. We should do that again sometime. I liked that.
This one agrees.
Perhaps-
One should not take it at face value.
Ha ha ha.
let's not forget that we learned of the mer people base out in the ocean too. So, there could be maybe a high command out there, I'm imagining.
But Han here has promised to come up with better fishing equipment for the people that we terrorized last night. So we should probably see them first, and then do deep sea diving.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we go down there, let's be careful of potential spies, maybe from the high command or something. If they're so close to this little village, I suspect there could be untrustworthies in the city.
I mean, all we're doing is providing them aid in fishing anyways. It's not like we're disclosing, like, government secrets.
This is true.
Alright. I guess you guys do you, just don't kill anybody, and I will do my thing, I guess.
Didn't you do your thing during the long rest?
I didn't, yeah, but I need to, like, show the plans to them and be like, okay, so, like, this is how we can make these. What do you guys think? Are we gonna sign off on this and I can get to work building? So and so forth. But I'd like to confer with the people I was conferring with before.
All right.
Lots of conferring.
So much conferring. Yeah.
Yeah, lots to confer, very little time,
I shall go with you there, lass.
Actually, I would prefer you stay with, Murder Hobo 1 and Murder Hobo 2 over there. Unless I can trust you two not to chew anybody's faces off while I'm busy.
Yes,
Point
what is this
taken.
hobo you speak of?
Perhaps there are some supplies we could gather while you're doing your net teaching.
There you go, away from other humans. Perfect. Or other creatures. Great. Well, I guess for nets, I would need a lot of fibers. Either from fronds, or grasses, or that kind of thing.
Hemp, jungle vines.
There you go.
Since there is a jungle right next to their town.
You also grow
Okay.
fibers from your head. Can these not be suitable?
It would take a while.
Perhaps we
did
can
he
harvest
seriously
mini
just
fibers
suggest-
from mini heads.
That's a good idea, Chakakano, but for the sake of efficiency and not scalping people, let's not.
This village seems quite numerous. We can find many fibers here.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess they.
I don't
have hair
think-
around.
Yeah, I
I
don't,
don't
think
think they
merfolk
really
have hair.
do.
So your logic is flawed there, Chakakano.
All right. Anyways,
This
I
one
have
is not,
pretty
this one
much
is
all
not
the
the
metal I
creative
need.
artificer.
Oh, you know what? For the crab pots and stuff, we're gonna need bait. Chakakano, if you want to hunt some small, not sentient, non-talking creatures, that would be great. Like birds. You can go hunt birds, and it would be for a great cause.
Kano looks at Yora, the druid, and thinks, does not all sentience have, doesn't all creature have the ability to speak at some point?
Well, it's really the size of their mouths, Shakakano. We shouldn't feed them anything bigger than they can ingest. They need a small prey.
So there is a size requirement for consumption. But what if we diced up meat very small?
Let's keep that one in the idea closet, Chakakano.
Okay, all I'm asking, do not kill any more merfolk. Is that clear?
No promises.
Very well. Merfolk pets, okay. Merfolk, not okay. Understood.
I won't kill any that don't threaten me.
Okay, fine, whatever. I'm just gonna go. There's nothing more I can do here.
Okay. As we're making our way through the city, Yora is gathering jungle vines. Or as we're making our way to the city, the town, I'm gathering jungle vines in the jungle.
All right, sounds good to me. Yeah, I'll say you. Well, you're a druid. You have intimate knowledge of the forest. You can be like, "Yep, this is good and fibrous. This is not." And yeah, you have advantage on figuring things out.
And I'm sort of, I'm pointing out to Chakano where there's like birds to hunt.
Why
Or
would birds be
rodents.
good for fiber?
Not for
No,
fiber, for
strands
crab
and stuff.
pots. For bait for crab pots. That is what I meant. I thought Chakakano would prefer to hunt rather than gather.
But why not both?
Can do both. I just thought I'd give him an option.
It's like the whole hunter-gatherer thing. You're gathering, but in a non-vegan way.
Yeah.
exactly.
Alright.
My God.
Regardless, fiber for nets, potential dead other animals for crab pot bait. That was the extent of what I. Whatever. Anyways.
And, speaking from experience, crabs like meat that's been dead for a little while. So if it's smelling a little bit, that would be an added bonus.
This one can assist.
Perfect.
Alright. Alright, anyways, I'm gonna go find the council people or whoever it was that we were talking to before. No, it was like the people in the guild hall?
Yes.
Yeah, go there.
Okay.
Yes,
You go down to the
Chakakano
guild
goes
hall.
to try to find the body of the person he killed.
Oh my God.
Doesn't
You said it has to be dead for a while.
You are in a jungle, dude. can you not hunt in the jungle?
Yeah, that's fresh meat. You said it has to be dead for a while. Any of this would be
I'm
fresh
sure
kills.
you could find dead stuff in the jungle too. always going after the sentient beings.
It's already dead. What harm is it going to feel?
Oh my God. Just
Whatever.
You're the one that
Well,
told
if
him
you-
to go find something that's been dead for a while. He knows exactly
That
where
was
that
you,
thing
Gago.
is.
You
And
you added that
his immediate thought was merfolk.
because there's
Well,
one that
there's
was
a
recently
corpse. There's
dead.
there's a perfectly good corpse that we left behind that's been dead and rotting for at least a few hours now.
Well, all right. Then in that case, you go with Hen to try and find that, and you find the body is not there in the guild hall where you killed it.
I guess
Oh,
we
too
track
bad.
it
Bummer.
down.
Looks like you're gonna have to find someone else.
Indeed, we must track where the body went because we were told that we must have rotting meat.
I just said it was a bonus. We can use fresh meat.
Well, I do have 2 tongues from some dog beasts that I killed in one of the tunnels a long time ago. I think these are a little bit smelly, and I pull them out.
That would absolutely work well. Good job, Yora.
Okay, so I pass the tongues to Hen. I just plop them in her hand.
Wow, thanks.
Okay,
So-
this feels. This is good. Now we must go kill more.
Is what was it? The priest? The priest. Is the priest there from the other night?
Yes, he's there from last
Okay.
night. Yeah, he didn't go anywhere in the last few hours. Actually, wait. Let's say yeah, why not? He just hangs out there all the time. Though you notice the other couple people that were there have left,
Okay.
so it's just him hanging out alone right now.
All right. I'll wave. Oh yeah, Gago, you're gonna have to translate.
Oh, so see, you need me after all.
Sure. All right. So I wave and kind of set down the written out plans on the table, and I guess I just start
Okay.
talking, and Gago will work as my translator.
Aye.
All right, but it's mostly like pictures, so he can just follow it that way.
Yeah. So I'm like, so this is a crab pot, so crabs go in here, they can't get out, and boom, bada bing, bada boom, you got some trapped crabs. Good eating, you know? And here are some really strong, should be long-lasting, durable nets. See, we have these metal clasps in between the netting that should make them last longer, catch bigger fish, bigger loads. Efficiency! Yippee! And then I think the
Hey.
last thing I probably figured out was like a net gun type thing. So
Okay.
it can like, you know, like in TV shows and stuff when they have like the gun that shoots like a net that like
Well, yes.
harnesses around things.
A lot of people, if they can dive, they'll use spear guns. To catch
Yeah,
fish.
but somebody seemed to have a problem with arming these people, so
Well, they already have
All
spears and stuff.
Tropicano
That's-
is saying, is that, if we start arming more, that's more of a chance for them to become violent. And we don't want to have violence now, do we? We're seeking peace.
so I think the last thing will be like net guns for like more active hunting, that have like buoys attached at the end that like once launched will like help the net float up to the surface or something. I don't know.
Okay, I like this.
Yora's kind of like waiting outside because she didn't feel entirely welcome in the discussion. But she like knocks on the door and she peeks her head in and says, "Oh, don't forget to ask about that island or secret underwater base." And then I close the
Okay.
door.
Okay. All right. Did you? Okay, so you said that to what? Hen?
Yeah,
Or-
and
okay.
Gago.
And Gago. All right. You
All right.
translate that through.
I suppose. Though I think we kind of did already talk about that the last time we were there.
You did. You did.
Oh, really? Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot.
I mean, yeah. He was
Maybe they
like,
know
it's
more.
straight down. Basically, you just take a long walk down the short pier, and eventually you'll get there.
Oh, okay. Wear some
right.
concrete shoes. Okay.
So what is the priest's reaction to these wonderful ideas?
Well, he's absolutely shocked. He thanks you profusely. He's like, this, we are in mourning right now for the loss of our friend who you, of course, killed last night, but we thank you for these improvements to our life.
Yeah, to be fair, she killed herself.
No, she really didn't.
Well, she had one job, which was to not move, and she moved. So this seems like a job performance issue, not like a murder issue.
Anyways, yeah. So I can be like, excellent. I can like get to work building some of these.
It's like, oh, okay, sure. That would be great. I mean, it doesn't exactly bring our friend back, but we appreciate it.
Yeah, but that's a her problem.
I'm so sorry about your friend, and I apologize so much for my companions. I assure you, I do not control their actions in any way, shape, or form.
She was threatening us. The guy doesn't know about all the stuff that's going on in Chaka Kano's head as he's broadcasting to the party.
Yeah,
Like,
it's in a
why
totally
would you
different
ever
language.
apologize to someone for threatening us? Like, this is just wrong.
Whatever. Sometimes you have to be the bigger person.
You shouldn't say that to Chaka Kano. He takes everything literally.
Okay. Sometimes you have to do the right thing even if nobody else is doing it. And in our case, that was to not murder somebody when we were trying to discuss
self-defense.
peace. No, it wasn't self-defense.
Anyway, lass, I do not think you will be making any headway with Chaka Kano there today. It's something we have to gently teach him over a long period of time. Anyway, so lass, did you want to make some of these items before we slipped under the water, or do you want to just slip under the water now anyway and continue our quest?
Probably before.
All right.
Because I don't know if we're going to come back. I never know what we're going to do next.
I mean, this.
I'd rather do this first before going off to potentially battle people underwater.
All right. Well, then, Les, why don't we go outside and you can direct the rest of us on how to make some of these items.
All right, sounds good.
I feel like
I'm
all
probably
of my
gonna-
characters should be canonically Gondian, and so Chaka Kano can say, "Gond helps those who help themselves."
I'm gonna have an aneurysm, I swear. Why is it so hard to be a good person?
Well,
I don't know. You should ask the person
Somehow-
who threatened us by brandishing
Oh
weapons when we said all we
my
wanted was
God.
peace.
Alright, I'm done. I'm done with this conversation. We're done. Alright, I will go outside, I'll lay out all the fibers that Yora has gathered, and I will instruct the party on how to weave them into nice, durable nets.
And me being a sailor, I know all about knots.
True. He probably has advantage.
Yep, I give it definitely. So I guess go ahead and roll a couple of d20s and take the higher one, and let's see how you do.
First one was an 18. Let's see what the
You
second
do
one.
excellent.
Yes, 18. We will go with 18.
Well, then, yeah, I would say that is a heck of a net. You show them how to, tie up all the, I don't know how to say this,
all
like
the knots.
all the
All
knots.
the
Yeah,
shanks and bowlines and everything.
it's a brilliant macrame. Yeah,
Macrame, yes. It's a work of art masquerading as a net. Or a
exactly.
net masquerading as a work of art.
Yeah, you even tie it in such a way that there's like the symbol of like something you saw in the temple there in front of you, like where it's a decommissioned temple, so like the old god or whatever, the symbol, you like tie it in such a way so it's reflected in the net, so it's more personable to the priest.
Nice.
It's a
All
lovely touch.
right.
All right. I'm not exactly sure how to teach you guys how to weld metal. That one's kind of a trickier thing.
Oh, for what?
Crab pots.
You
and...
can make crab pots out of sticks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just use wood.
Yep, we just use wood.
All right. I will instruct them how to make a crab pot. We'll make sure to make the gate like a bit bigger than the opening and put it on the inside so the crabs walk in and can't walk out. That's pretty much it.
And then weight it down with rocks so it sinks instead of floats.
There we go.
Yep, there you go.
Look at
I
you,
dig it.
Mr. Artificer.
So what?
Look at the Mr. Artificer over here.
I mean, he's a sailor. He's gonna know about these things.
Yes, I like a good shellfish
Why-
every now and again.
So why did the Artificer have to go through so much effort to try and make this thing when a sailor should have been able to do it?
Because the artificer is smarter than the sailor. The artificer
That's
came up with the
fair.
plan. The sailor just implemented the plan.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to be taught as much, which is nice, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, you can have him taught to do one thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so
Yeah, in fact, when I rolled, I got an 18 for him learning, so he learns well.
Nice.
yeah. All right, I guess while you guys are working on that, after I've shown you, I work on a net gun. So, just a simple launching thing system with a attachable buoy thing compartment.
Awesome. Based off of like a catapult or a crossbow or something like that.
Yeah,
Crossbow.
kind of like a crossbow.
Right on. I figured use familiar technology.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you do all that. This takes you a lot of the morning and, well, actually most of the day. I mean, it'll be,
Oh yeah.
10 hours or at least 12 hours or something. So, like, there's people that come back and you hear them, like, looking at you side-eyed, or you hear them talking as they're looking at you side-eyed, and, just kind of, you get a lot of weird looks, but the priest is there and he's like telling everyone they're friends, they're here to help, and he shows them the net first and they're like, oh, okay, and there's a lot of suspicion. The people that are going by, they're keeping a distance, and many of them, you can feel their eyes watching you from like balconies and so forth.
There be little trust, I understand.
Yeah, that's understandable. It's gonna be a shaky road.
Kind of feels like these people should have died off long ago if they couldn't even figure out how to do a net as a merfolk.
Well, they use spears to fish with in the water. They don't throw nets. They just like swim and stab stuff.
We're just giving them alternative options that might be more efficient. Alright, but anyways. So, we
How
have
about this? They lost their technology, and for the last 1,000 years, the development of technology has been looked on as evil.
Oh, very
Oh.
nice.
That doesn't bode well for me. But anyways. How many of these
side
things
note,
do people
actually,
make today?
just for the literary inclined, there's a book series called the Safehold Saga that would be very much in line with this whole society.
Was that the book series written by Brandon Sanderson?
Might have been, actually. I haven't looked into it. But it's about a futuristic human society that is being wiped out by an alien race, and they have to develop this, like, last-ditch colony to stop the last of humans being destroyed. And they make developing technology against the entire religion
Oh yeah, that's
of the world.
That's David Weber.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the author. But
Yeah, I've read the first couple
Ex-
books in that series.
Me too. I just didn't finish the entire series, but it was very good in the entire development. So, for the listener involved, I would recommend that series to understand the society.
Okay. Well, I haven't read it. I'm just making it up as I go along. I figured
Look at us giving
sea
literary
people
references.
plus sea equals society.
Ha ha ha.
Well, that to the ancient Greeks and the collapse of the Bronze Age.
Yes, well, the sea people was... anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
Anyways,
It was
how
more of
many
a
of
problem for Egypt.
yeah, how many of each
Well,
of these items do you think
bronze
we can make
society
in
in
one day?
general, but yeah.
How about this? If you're training people and you're like working around, you're like, do this, and you go to the next person, you could get through all three of them.
Okay, so
Because
just
like
one of each.
other people. Yeah, why not? You're making examples, like prototypes that can then be copied by others.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So I will go back to the priest at the end of the day then and show him the spoils of our labor.
Well, he was there with you, like
Oh, yeah, that's right.
watching intent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So I'll just
he's
be like-
quite happy.
Yep. Here you go, and now you can teach your people how to make more, and this should improve the fishing efficiency, the efficiency, if you will.
Ah, yes. We the merfolk do love portmanteaus.
Ha ha ha.
All about the
Here we
boat.
just call them ports for shorts.
Oh my gosh. Alright, but anyways. So, yay, success.
Nice.
We have done nice things for somebody for once.
Yes, you are. You have increased your social currency here greatly. He invites you to spend the night in the temple, so you don't have to go back to your, wherever you were in the woods.
Yippee!
All right. Well, I would say that we probably don't necessarily want to tackle the underground headquarters at night. So maybe we go back to our cave and then come back in the morning for our deep dive.
Well, we can spend the night in the temple.
Do you think we'd be safe in the temple?
I don't know.
Yes.
What
I
are we
was-
planning to doing with the underwater base, by the way?
That's where the people that planned the assault on the marketplace are.
Okay. These people be mad if we attack that base?
Well, if we don't, maybe we can just start with getting some answers, and we will see if an attack is warranted.
Okay, alright.
Spoiler alert, it's probably warranted.
Why don't even try?
All right. Anyway, what do you guys think? Should we go back to our cave for the night and then head out bright and early in the morning?
Well, is it very far from the town to the cave?
No, it's not. I mean, it's
Oh.
you just kind of walk south of town and then up a hill.
I don't know. I kind of want to stay in the temple just to maybe interact with some more town folk.
All right. Well, it's a good thing that Chakokano does not sleep then.
Yes.
All right. Well, I shall ask the priest if it is okay if we spend the night in the temple.
He says, "Yes, of course. You are welcome here. This is sacred ground."
All right. Into the temple we go.
Everyone
Cool.
knows nothing bad ever happens on sacred ground. That's why the last death in there was totally not a murder.
Sure.
I'll
So,
leave.
All right.
is
Well,
there...
you. Oh, go
Wait,
ahead.
I want to talk to the priest of the temple.
Okay. You have
Uh,
to be translated through Gago.
Okay. Hello. It is nice to meet you.
Hello. I think we met before, but
Oh,
hello
yes.
again.
What is the god that you worship here?
Meriden.
Meriden? And
Yes,
it is
it's
the
the
god of all things
well
seaworthy?
of the Mofolk. We were created in his glorious image.
Oh. Well, do you like totems or idols that I could purchase for safety in the water?
Oh, there are no graven images of Meriden. He is as
Oh.
the waves.
Do you make any offerings towards the god to please him?
Oh, sometimes, yes. We feed the sea. In fact, the um, individual that your companion murdered here last night was given in offering back to the sea.
Oh. I see. Well, could I make an offering to the god?
Certainly. What would you like to do?
I will give you this squirrel hat that you could give to him.
A squirrel hat?
Oh, Shaka Khan was just
Um,
thinking, you're welcome for giving you a sacrifice to your god. Jeez.
It used to be an animal, but now it's more of a style thing, and I hope that he will
I mean-
enjoy the warmth on his head.
I mean, sure, we could do that. If you're just wanting a godly blessing, I could just, like, baptize you.
Oh, yes, actually, that would be preferable.
I'm far too attached to the squirrel hat.
Now I don't have to give up my hat.
He's like, okay, well, I mean, you want to do it tonight or you want to do it in the morning at first light? I don't really care.
In the morning, I think.
Okay, we'll do it first thing. The rest of you are welcome to join, of course.
It'd be fine.
Hey, I'll watch Yora get baptized.
I'm not much of a religious type person.
Well, neither am I. But it's not about the religion, it's about supporting our friend.
All right, lass, you make a good point.
All right. Well, does anyone else want to do anything tonight, or do we want to just say you guys sleep the night away and then we go to the next morning?
Yeah, probably sleep.
Okay, cool. So we go to the next morning. He's, of course, up with dawn and comes and visits Yora and says, "The first light is upon the waves. It is time. Come with me."
Okay. And I follow him.
Okay.
In reverence.
You walk down to the ocean, and he walks out into the waves and bids you to follow him, and you get out about, let's say, about mid chest on you, and he starts a chant and pours the water over your head, and then he grabs you by the shoulder and dunks you and holds you under the water.
Oh. I kind of garble. I sort of yell a little bit. And I struggle.
Yep,
Are you
and he
sure
holds
you
you
want to
in.
do that?
He
No.
holds you
Just
in position.
I mean, Yora can turn into a fish if she wants, so she's not in any danger of drowning, Chaka Kano.
True.
Yeah, but Shaka Khan doesn't fully understand magic.
No, but I just told Chaka Kano that.
Well, here's the question then.
Shaka
Do you
Khan
turn?
readies his axe and just prepares.
All right. You do that.
So-
Yora, do you turn into a fish?
Is he really holding me down trying to drown me?
Yeah, it's
He
part of the
won't-
baptism.
He won't let me up at all? Oh,
Correct.
Okay. Yes, I turn into a giant octopus. I don't know if I can
All right.
I don't know if I can turn into that, but let me see.
I'm gonna look it up. Wow.
Skin emerges.
Now that's Oh, let's see. Yeah, challenge 1. You can do it.
Sweet.
Okay, so
Alright.
as he's holding you, your entire body suddenly transforms into a giant octopus, and what do you do?
I slap him back tentacled with one of my tentacles, not the suction side, with the slimy side.
All
And
right, roll to hit.
kind of
It's +5 to hit.
okay. Oh, that's a 9 to hit.
That's with a +5. That's a 14.
No, I
Oh,
rolled a 4.
you rolled a 4. Okay. All right. So you miss him, thankfully. Uh, yeah. The your tentacle goes flying, and he's like, what?" And he like lets go and starts stumbling backwards, shocked at your now like floppy appendages all over the place. He's like, "By the god, what has happened?"
She thought you were trying to drown her there, priest.
Like, well, of course I was. It's part of the ritual baptism.
Well, yeah, she
You
didn't want to die, though.
You don't die from it. We just drown you a little and then bring you back and heal you.
Okay, this might have gone better if you had told us this beforehand.
Well, you didn't ask.
Well, we shouldn't have to now, should we?
What? You come into my temple, my religion, you asked to become part of this. Why should I have to tell you about it? You're the ones that wanted this.
There's a point that there's a different culture there, and that what he might consider normal, we don't. He wouldn't consider that.
Well, priest, I think what we have here, or what we got here, was a failure to communicate. So she panicked, and that is why she changed.
I squirt a squirt of water at the guy from underwater.
Okay, sure. That sounds... Yeah, it's an area effect. You do that.
It's
It's
not
a kill now?
an attack. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a squirt. So
Yeah.
he gets squirt, and then he's just like, ah! And he starts walking back to shore.
All
It's
right.
like, forget it. You people are ridiculous. I'm leaving. Going home.
Okay.
Fine, big Mr. Pouty Face.
'Twas nice meeting you. All right. Can Yora cast any spells while she is in her octopus shape?
I do not
that I
believe
don't know.
Non-somatic?
I'm not sure, but I think that now that I'm a high enough level in Circle of the Beast, Circle of the Moon, I might be able to do that.
Now it'd be, I mean, it's up to you whether you want to change back into your dwarven shape to cast underwater breathing on all of us, or if you can just, or if you want to stay an octopus and then cast underwater breathing on all of us, if you can do that. But we need to be able to breathe underwater for us to continue our quest.
It's true. It does not say that I can do that. It only says, yeah, my attacks count as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks. So, no.
Okay, well then, yeah, I guess you'd have to transform back, or if you want to cast that.
Dang it. Alright. I change back.
All right, so you are back in your dwarven form. I'm assuming still standing in the water.
Yep. And I go ahead and I cast underwater breathing on the party.
Okay. So everyone has it for the next 24 hours. So basically until dawn the next day.
Sounds good.
All right, in water we go, lads and lasses.
All right, so you guys start marching down the pier.
Aye.
Okay. So a note for underwater: if you don't have a designated swim speed, your swim speed is 1/2 your listed movement speed.
All right.
Okay.
How would this impact
good.
combat as well? I'm just thinking, like swinging stuff.
Yeah, it's you're generally at disadvantage if you're using standard
Oh, yeah,
like
and-
weapons.
B-boy probably can't follow us either.
Nope.
I mean, B-boy can breathe underwater-ish.
He can't. The mechanisms probably don't work well underwater.
Well, he's made of what? Is he made of?
Oh,
Well, I mean, depending on the metal he's made out of.
I don't know. I guess he's magic. I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? He's magical. He just works at like, half speed basically, like he tries to swim as best he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just doesn't do well underwater at all. Okay, well, you guys follow the pathway, and once you get into the water, you can see it, especially in the morning light, there is definitely a pathway. The pier descends down the island shelf, and there is a rockway that lines a path. And as you swim for a while, you see there's the standard flora and fauna of the reef, and eventually up ahead you see a sunken, what looks almost like a sunken city. It appears to be, though, more like grown than carved. Everything looks to be shaped coral and a natural part of the environment.
Okay. Do we see anybody yet?
Yeah, there's movement. You see like individuals, swimming back and forth, going to different buildings.
Does it look like there's anywhere that is kind of like a big and bubble-shaped air chamber?
Not per se. Like from what you can see on the outside, it's more like cave entrances.
Okay.
All right, Yora. Let's say, pick a cave entrance and we will follow you in.
Okay. What is like the central? Is there one?
There's kind of a larger structure, yeah, that everything is wrapped around. It looks a little more hewn than the standard building. Like there's definitely been more care in guiding its development, its growth.
Okay. Yes, I swim into that one.
Okay. As you do, you start seeing that your presence has been noted by the inhabitants here, and a group of them have basically come to meet you, following you in.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. Everyone else, you're following with, I take it?
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay. So eventually you go inside, and as you enter, you see there is like bioluminescent algae that is lighting your way until you get to a large, let's call it a spherical chamber with what almost looks like seats all the way around it in 3 dimensions, top to bottom. There is a merfolk in full armor at the center, staring at you.
I wave to them.
He
And
bids you come closer and then crosses his arms.
okay. I come closer cautiously. We're still in the water, right?
Yes, you're fully swimming,
Okay.
and as you look around, there are dozens of merfolk all around you.
Hmm.
And you hear him make a series of sounds.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's still speaking Agwan.
He is,
One.
but you can't understand him because it's underwater.
Oh, that's not good.
Dang it. Okay.
I mean, I think you would be able to. I mean, sounds are sounds. They travel through water the same.
Yes, but you don't have merfolk ears. Like, they have the big giant gill things that can pick up the sounds underwater.
Perhaps Chaka Kano would be willing to translate in
Don't
telepathy.
think it works that way.
Oh.
I mean, we are underwater. You can kind of relay through Chakakano for a lot of this stuff.
Well,
Oh, can
Chuck
you?
Connell can't. How do you talk to? I mean, can you just like telepathically link to anyone more or less?
It has to be a willing creature.
So, I mean, you could try.
Okay. I sort of gesture towards and I clasp my hands together in like a friendly manner.
Okay. Well, Chakakano, what do you do?
Wait.
You wait. Oh, you wave.
No, wave. He just waves.
Okay. The guy looks at you and repeats himself. Did you hear it, or I mean,
I guess
he's being willing.
What would this be? Like, how would Chaka Kano effectively relay the vocal emanations to someone who could understand? Would that be performance?
Sure. Yeah, you mimic and perform it to Gago.
Oh, actually rolled a 19 on that.
See, you do rather well. All right, so you guys, and then Gago says something, and you mimic it back to the guy.
Yeah, that's good. I'm guessing this conversation would go because no one else can communicate with them.
All right. So how does the conversation go then?
All right, Gago, lead on.
Yes.
No pressure.
I would recommend not intimidation.
But I am good at intimidation.
No! We are outnumbered in a military base with only 4 of us underwater. No intimidation. Just talk normally. God!
All right. We understand that it was it you guys that launched an attack against our city?
He looks at you confused. We have attacked no city. We simply wiped out a gathering of tents upon our shores.
Ah. So that was you.
They were stealing from us, our heritage.
Let's see here. How do I say this? This ancient city was buried underneath many feet of sand. If this was so important to you and your heritage, why did you just leave it abandoned?
One does not desiccate graveyards.
Good lord.
Yet you make graveyards.
Yes. When you disturb the dead, then you deserve joining them.
All right. I'm thinking that we're not going to be getting anywhere with these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, I argue against combat because we are not skilled in water combat and we are outnumbered, horribly outnumbered.
So what would be your idea going forward here, lass?
You just say, bummer, agree to disagree. Okay, whatever. I don't know.
Not very convincing.
Y'all stupid.
I want to ask them, is there any way that we can make peace between our two people? And I give them a token of goodwill. I give
The
them...
squirrel hat?
No, that would not be very much use to them underwater, I think. I'll give them my lucky 4-leaf clover charm.
Okay. Yeah, it's very wet. I mean, was it pressed or preserved in any way?
I always thought it was like a metal medallion.
Oh, that's... Yeah, good point. All right, sure. He looks at you confused and takes it and looks at it.
This is
and he's like, what?
Token from one of our gods. I want you to have it.
He's... Well, thank you. We appreciate sacred objects, unlike the land people. So I will keep it safe for you.
I hope you will realize that the land people do not mean you any harm, and were only trying to go about their lives. They did not know that you existed.
He's like, well, they were digging through our catacombs, taking our stuff. The leftover bits of our ancestors, they took them out. They hung some of their skeletons in their showcases, in their homes, in their community halls. They took our technology. They played with it. They damaged themselves and others with it.
These are all good arguments. I hear what you're saying.
You still killed, like, hundreds of completely innocent people who had nothing to do with that.
Sometimes the waves come as a rake and other times as a broom.
And other times, people launch massive reprisals against your kind and do their very best to wipe out your people. So, I would advocate for restraint.
Side note to Gago, when he says that, without translating back to the merfolk, Chakakona asks, "Is this us? Are we launching massive reprisals?"
Not yet.
No, not just the four of us underwater.
He
detect a marked sense of disappointment in Chakakano.
All right. Well, he says they have no technology to reach us, and we have reacquired from them that which was buried. We can strike out against many of their towns, for they cannot breathe underwater as we can.
Oh, yes, because there's definitely no one that can breathe underwater. Like random adventurers who are swimming into their depths.
He says, I sense sarcasm.
He didn't say this to the guy. He's saying it to the party.
I know, he just sensed it. He didn't say it to him. He just sensed your like sarcastic state of being. You embraced, you projected the universal state of sarcasm.
Can we mention that we have tried to reach peace with the efforts we have made in the fishing village?
Sure. I relay Hen's message.
All right. Says, okay, those are a bunch of weaklings that have left the sea and chosen to live like the land dwellers.
All right. Okay.
Hmm.
I see this is getting us nowhere.
Hmm.
No,
Well,
just what do you want, man? You're kind of throwing a tantrum like a toddler. Like, if you actually want something to be reached or some kind of progress to be made, communicate it. Why don't you reach out? Why not you actually talk to people rather than just swinging first? Especially those people who did not know that what they were doing.
You talking to him?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe
I relay
channeling
that
some inner
message.
resentment towards Chaka Kano, but okay, fine. I accept it. Yeah.
He's like, because we're the religious extremist faction. That's what we do.
Okay, well, it fucking sucks.
Well, some people.
You're gonna die alone with your traditions one day if you can't accept that there are other people in this world with other ways of life. Sure, people, like, messed up, and you have every right to be upset about it, but there are better ways of trying to make things better than just going all vengeance on their asses. What do
He
you
says,
actually aim to achieve? Destroying a town of people who disturbed your dead doesn't put the dead back to rest.
He's like,
yeah.
you don't know all of the story.
And neither do you.
A couple hundred years ago, we invited some of your people to one of our great cities under the waves. It was completely destroyed.
Only a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah, you think any of those people are still alive that you, like, massacred on the sands?
Well, if we massacred them, no.
Alright, whatever.
Sorry. Oh, you're talking. I understand what you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's like, fine. If you guys want a deal, go get everyone out of that area of the desert. They are to leave all of our sacred lands alone.
Okay. How about
Well-
one of you guys comes with us to actually make a step towards peace and discussion? Don't just send us to be your errand boys.
We can
Yeah.
send someone with you. He turns to the side and yells out a name, and one of the older-looking merfolk comes swimming over and floats next to him. My companion here will go with you. He will carry our message.
Okay. Alright. Before we've decided on this party, what do we think? Because I know we're not exactly the most peaceful, let's do this for the good of other people kind of people.
Well, I say silently to the party, since we have absolutely no authority with the settlers in the desert there, I have a feeling this is going to fail miserably.
Well, yeah.
But there is no reason why we cannot try, I guess.
It's
Well,
true.
the one
And
thing yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
perhaps our people can learn more about each other through this journey, and maybe a different peace can be found.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, the people on the desert that are left anyways have already had the big message of, hey, these people could have slaughtered you. Like,
Not
And they
really.
were.
I mean, they were until we actually slaughtered them.
exactly, but if not for us, they would all be dead. So we have this goal of like, hey, if you don't want them to send a giant tidal wave and completely desecrate all your friends and family, how about we try to give a listen, and we can reach terms that make everybody happy and nobody want to slaughter anybody. That's just what I'm going to propose, is that there is evidence of what might happen if a lack of peace continues. Is that they can do it again. And if not for us intervening, they would have continued.
All right, well, we'll give it a shot.
It's the best we got. I definitely don't recommend, at least for now, I don't recommend engaging in combat with all these military merfolk underwater in their own domain.
I
That's
bet you
true.
I could do something that would kind of damage them.
Yeah, I think we have a few tricks up our sleeve.
Or we
True.
had a cleric with control water or something.
No, we don't though.
But
We
also,
do have-
we can attempt peace first, and if that fails, then we can go back and fight.
Yes.
But we cannot fight and then attempt peace later.
Why
Very
not?
good point.
If anything, that should get you better deals on the peace agreement.
Yeah, only if you win said fight. Or if there's anybody left to negotiate peace with.
The best piece is unconditional surrender.
I mean, correct, but let's
Exactly.
not go down that route. We're already pessimistic enough with war negotiations, so can we just keep it light? Alright, so I guess we go back to the market with this guy in tow and do our best to reach people and negotiate.
All right. Well, let's say you're going to do that, and you agree to take him. The leader says, "We can offer you transportation."
Can you also offer transportation out of the the marketplace, because you wrecked all of our ships?
We have no ships. We exist here in the water. Ships are only necessary for those on the surface.
That's
What
not what I
is the
said. I said,
transportation
can you
for?
provide transport? You want everyone away from the town, but you have wrecked
Oh.
our way to get off of the town. Do you have a
Gotcha.
way to
That's what you're
transport
saying.
everybody? Yes.
He says, "No, we don't have the ability to do that, but we can help you rebuild."
Now there'd be something. All right. Yes, we will accept your offer to send us back to the marketplace.
All right. So he says, "Follow my friend here," and he takes you kind of out one of the side passages, not the way you came in. And when you get out to this area, you see what looks like a stable, and it's filled with mighty seahorses.
I'm
Oh,
gonna ride seahorses. Woohoo!
Awesome.
Yep. You yeah, he points to different ones for each of you, so you guys can all jump on, and you grab the reins, and he says, "Follow me," and they launch. They're amazingly fast. They slide through the water just like bullets.
This was fun.
All right.
Yeah. So let's say this goes on for several hours of you riding. Thankfully, you guys can breathe underwater for a long time. And let's say it's basically late afternoon that the seahorses pop above the surface, and you guys find yourselves basically at the shores of where the market used to be.
All right.
All right. Now, how to make an announcement to the people who are left.
Well, let's just go find and see if there's any kind of a marketplace council or governing body or something like that.
Yes.
So let's just go looking.
Okay.
All right. You guys go ashore and you look around you haven't been gone but 2 days. But a lot's been done. A bunch of the wood has been gathered up. It looks like stuff has been moved to the side so they can start, basically a rudimentary shipyard of rebuilding. There, a bunch of tents have been pulled up on the south and far east sides and moved together, and they're pretty far back from the shore, basically across the entire market to the extremes of where the waves had reached. They appear to be being cautious against a second wave.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Well, we go. Okay, All right. I guess we should go look for a wizard or something.
Yep.
All right. Are you
One we
taking
haven't
the
killed?
the merman with you in tow?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So you
Behind
you
the merman to make sure nobody tries to stab him from behind. I'm sure there's some source feelings towards merfolk at the moment.
I imagine there is.
so you approach, and the eyes of the locals all fix on you as you come in. Let's say you walk like a J.J. Abrams movie, the four of you in like a band-aid constellation with the merfolk at the center.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys, they're all staring at you. There's murmuring at the side, and one of the better dressed, armored clad fighters holds out a hand and says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Where are you going with that thing?"
We need to speak to the town council or governing body, whoever is in charge of everything here.
Well, we've put together a kind of a ramshackle group, but you can speak to them. A couple of the wizards and some of the nobility that survived are hanging out in the tent up here. I am
Well,
not
that's-
I'm not trusting that guy, though.
He is the ambassador from the merfolk, so we are here to broker some kind of a settlement.
That's acceptable to me, but it may not be to others around here. You see a lot of people around the sides have blades pulled, and they're eyeing the guy at the middle.
Can I actually create a force ballista and cock it?
Sure.
Yeah, so I do that, and then I kind of give a glare around at the people with blades drawn.
Okay. The guy gestures to you. He's like, "Follow me to the tent," and turns and starts walking.
All
So
right.
the
well, we
people,
follow-
they kind of close in a little on you, but they don't actually strike.
Okay. I will stay really close to the merfolk and make sure to keep him safe.
Right on. You eventually make it to the tent, and the fighter leans in and says, "We have a visitor. You guys may want to speak with this one." And as you look inside, your eyes adjust. There's 5 older people sitting around a table A couple of wizards with their long beards and stereotypical robes, a nobleman with his rings and, fine silks, a what looks like a blacksmith that, barely covered in his leather protective garments, and a what else? How about there's an elf, looks like an artisan, covered in bits of paint.
What about the doll? Like the little necromantic doll.
It was washed out to sea.
Dang, we did
It
that thing
sleeps with
so
the
dirty.
fishes.
Like guidance counselors. Like the little doll that we have. Like it somehow slayed 12 merfolk along the path.
Sure. How about? Hold on, let me roll something real quick. No, it actually just killed one of the attacking creatures. It tried to it looked like a tasty snack and choked to death.
Oh, poor doll.
We did that doll so dirty.
Yeah. I just thought I'd give it a roll, and I rolled a 1, so I was like, yeah, it didn't do well.
Anyways.
All right. Anyways, so you guys are here. They are there. What do you do?
All right. Okay. I open this up by saying, all right, we have been to the Mer People's fortress underwater. And they say they have the ability to do this over and over again. They say that we are on sacred ground and that we must pick up and leave. Those are their demands. If we decide to go, they will help us rebuild our ships. And yeah, that's pretty much what they said.
They just want us to go? Well, they trapped us here. This is ridiculous. Well, we would love to go. We all have homes. We have businesses. We have kingdoms. Yes, we would all very much like to return.
Okay, well,
Hey.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
has this attack happened before?
What? No,
Oh,
none of us know of an attack like this happening before.
okay. Well, they did offer to help you build ships and to move. So I think that would be a good idea.
But what do they want? What do they want in return? They just want
They
us
want
gone,
us
that's
to-
it?
Yes, we are on sacred ground.
And if you're hoarding any ancient bodies or artifacts, to kindly leave them.
As long
Ugh.
as it's not us.
Very well, but part of the entire reason of us coming here was to take back some of the artifacts with us.
Apparently, these artifacts are sacred to the merfolk. They belong to them in ages past.
I'm sure they are not
Yes.
above killing to get them back.
Well, obviously, look how many of us are dead.
At this point, I think it's time to cut losses.
The nobleman's like, very well, whatever you say. Yes, we shall take their aid. Others, what do you say? And I guess the others kind of nod in agreement. And yeah, everyone seems to want to get out of here.
Wow, that was a lot easier than I thought it would be, actually.
All right, so I turn to the merfolk and say, all right, they agree. Is this acceptable to you? Will you help us rebuild our ships and let us leave?
Yes, it shall be done. As long as we can search everyone that's leaving to make sure they're not stealing anything.
Dude, just a side note here. I would just kind of take the win and let it go. If you start acting like assholes, they will remember it and they will come back. All right? Do you want to be left in peace or not?
We would love peace. We just want to make sure they're not desecrating our grounds. They are not to steal from our ancestors.
Out of
Alright.
curiosity, what kind of objects would you be looking for?
Oh, any number of things. Bits of the old technology, jewelry, garments, bones, anything that might have been buried into the sands.
Hmm. Are there
yeah.
any? Yeah.
What?
Are there any specific items of the old technology that you have in mind?
It's like, no, I can't think of anything in specific. I mean, we had sent a bit of a scavenger hunt for some of our items that we were able to use to, drive them to this point, but other than that, I can't think of anything precisely.
So you were the ones behind that scavenger hunt. This is making more sense now.
Oh man, that means we have to give them linguini.
I think we would have to give them our cuttlefish
Pretty much everything.
thing too. Yeah, if we have that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I
the
don't know what you
fuse
guys have
broke.
anymore.
Yeah. Thank God the fuse broke because now they can't prove that we don't have it on us, and they can't prove that we were the ones that messed with it. So yippee!
Oh yeah, we left it at the charging port, I think.
Because it blew up,
did.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yay! That's good because if they were like, wait a second, you were the guys that set nukes after us, we can be like, no. All right. Anyways. I'm gonna go through my bag and try and figure out how much of this I took from probably pretty much everything, except things I bought.
Yes. Well, I am worried about showing off of our valuable items in a public place. So I think maybe we should do it.
Yeah, we don't do
underwater.
it now.
No,
We'll do it
Yeah.
later after the ships are built and afloat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
then we will hand over their part of the bargain.
But before we hand over Linguini, I am going to change his password, his name, into something that hopefully they will never be able to figure out.
I feel like linguini is already pretty hard to guess.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly translate to Aquan.
I mean, that's true, because Linguini is in common, right?
Yes.
Then it's a pasta, which they're not gonna know anything about. All right, we'll leave it as Linguini.
Yay, linguini! Linguini lives on.
Yay.
The next campaign will be this campaign 2, the rise of linguini.
Oh God.
All right. Anyway, so
All right. So yeah.
I tell them- yeah.
I want
Go ahead.
I want to escort the mer person out back to the sea.
Yeah, that's probably be smart.
Yep.
Okay. So an accord is reached. You escort him to the sea, and
Like, I barely trust
He-
my own party not to kill people of interest, let alone other NPCs.
Why
fair.
would you ever trust your party not to kill people when you literally have someone who wants to eat people?
That's what he was saying.
You're like, exactly.
All right. So he disappears below the waves, and the leadership had walked with you as you were going down there. And as soon as he's gone, they turn to you and are like, "Okay, are you serious? He's gonna actually help us? Like, because this is ridiculous. We just really want to go home."
Exactly. I mean, we've already made all the steps possible to work towards peace and progress, so as far as we're concerned, they just want us gone. Once that's done, they don't need us to stick around for anything else.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do our best. I guess what do we do now? Just wait?
Well,
Well,
I mean,
I'd probably start sorting through your items.
yes. We need to, get the word out to everybody and let them know, and then, continue working on those ships and get as much of it done before the merfolk come back to help us finish building them.
It's like, okay, we'll make the proper announcements. And
Alright.
Perfect.
yeah, the one of the guys, of the leadership calls over what looks like a paladin, and he uses the thaumaturgy to create a big booming voice and make an announcement to everyone at camp of what's going on. Like, a peace has been struck. Everyone, we will be going home soon. No items from the market may be taken with us, but we will have ships to carry us. And there's chatter and talk and everything. And you guys are kind of looked at as local celebrities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting how we kind of played the field a bit.
Yeah. Well, let's say that you spend the night. You're invited by the leadership to camp, and the next day the merfolk show up, and there's some questionable looks, but everyone generally follows the common goal, and the shipbuilding begins. Let's hand wave and say that it is successful, and there's some people that fight back about giving up their items, but eventually the leadership basically creates their own council to make sure that everything is returned so they can safely travel on the waves. They kind of explain it to the people. And eventually, everyone is able to escape. So
Alrighty then.
I will say you guys are successful, and while we're here, let's do a little. Why don't we do a little epilogue? So if the, all the pedestrians are loaded up, what does each of you do?
You cut out.
Well, I find me old. Well, I don't know if my old captain. Well, I find a ship that has a captain.
Okay, so you join
I'm a
up as a sailor.
Unless
Chakakano
me
tries
companions want
desperately
to
to
join
search
me.
for the, and Chakakano tries desperately to search for the cuttlefish that was lost.
Oh, I think the
It was
merfolk have
entrusted
that.
to him. We don't know that. So,
So you are taking off on your own journey to find the cuttlefish.
trying to find
That is
it.
your
I mean,
quest?
it must be found. It was entrusted to
Yes.
it. I
I
cannot
thought
stop.
we got it
I mean,
back, but
no,
we didn't yet.
we never did.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Chakakano, he doesn't have many more years in his life to live, so he's very one-minded in his objective.
All right, so Chakakano takes off on his own quest, solo looking for the cephalopod. Gago joins a ship, but going back to his life as a sailor. Who wants to go next, Hen or Yora?
I can go next.
All right, Hen, what do you do?
I probably try to learn from the merfolk and their technology and propose in the best way I can, even with the language barrier. about like ways to improve their technology, and maybe I might stick with the merfolk for a bit and try to help them rebuild as well.
I think they'd be more likely to. Are you talking about the Merfolk village?
Yeah, whatever.
Like say, because the ones underwater be more likely to kill you than anything else.
That's true. I just need like I guess mental stimulation. I guess I could also try like looking into see if the wizards or like other council members are in need of a weaponer or that kind of thing. Somebody,
Oh, I'm sure
somebody who would actually use my ideas.
Oh, the nobility would be happy to hire you with your experience
And yeah, probably
and
that.
skills.
I mean, I came to the market in the first place to try and build and sell things, which didn't really come to fruition.
Well, now you're famous amongst the leadership there. One of the council members was a relatively powerful landed nobility. Yeah, you get a job, how about with them, and you get your own fully funded workshop.
And that
like
just
that.
leaves Yora.
What does Yora do?
Well, I did like hunting with Chakakano, so I suppose I would continue. Yeah, continue to search for the cuttlefish in the one final mission, and then I would probably go off adventuring into the wild, still in search of the magician who could change me back to my original form, and perhaps more adventure awaits out there.
Nice. I totally had this vision as you said that of you and Chaka Kano going on these great adventures until one day he, dies and then you have to go off on your own. You do it like a little Captain Kirk style grave of rocks for him.
Aw. It's like Bubba and Forrest Gump in my mind.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Chaka Kano, he's like, what, 25, and he physically cannot live beyond 30 or 35, even through magical means. So, yeah. He's doomed either
Right
way.
on. Awesome.
Well, we
Well,
have good adventures. Yeah.
yeah, I like
Long
the
as
idea
go
of you
alive.
guys having a wonderful life together. And yeah, I think congratulations. This was a great conclusion. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm just totally stumped and out of ideas, so that's why I need to kind of stop this campaign here.
Yep,
Yeah, fair enough.
I think so. We've kind of hit the edge of this.
Yeah.
Hit
You
the
even prolonged
wall.
it longer. You guys prolonged it a lot longer than I even anticipated. Like after, doing the whole transport to the other side and meeting the merfolk and all that, I didn't anticipate that originally, so that got us a couple extra episodes. So it's appreciated.
Nice.
Oh,
There we go.
Nice.
I mean, we've kind of made peace a little bit. I mean, it was a bit one-sided, but
Yeah.
You saved.
I
You
think-
saved a bunch of lives.
yeah, exactly. And it's like,
I think what I do, or I think one of those things that Gago is going to do is he's going to mark the exact coordinates of the merfolk underwater city on every ship map so that any ship captain kind of knows where they live. Just, just because. Little petty am I?
I mean, to be fair, I'm a little biased when it comes to like the conquest and recovery of artifacts. Ever since I've learned more about art history and that kind of thing, like I am much more willing to side with the people who had their culture and heritage taken
Stolen.
away from them by conquestors.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest, I have a bias towards that because, yeah, that does rightfully belong to them and their ancestors.
Maybe you use the nobility to establish the Merfolk Graves Protection and Reparations Act.
Yeah, sure, why not? Surprisingly,
Well-
like, peaceful.
That's the new T-shirt in the making.
Oh, yeah. Just like, buff.
Yeah, just like iBuff.
Yeah, just like Iva.
which which I was wearing all day yesterday, and several
Nice.
people were really into it. The first response, one of the first questions I got was, "Hey, is that a Union T-shirt?" I was like, "Yes, it is."
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
not a real union, but you know,
Union.
Well, I
You
explained
find
the
a
story
real
behind
union
it.
anyway.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was probably one of the best things that we came up with during the course of our campaigns.
Yeah. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be a couple weeks till another campaign is begun.
Yeah, let me think of something or try to, or if someone else would like to take over as GM for the next one, I'd love to be a player. Um, you know,
Well, in about 12 days from now, I'm flying back to the US. So that's
Ah.
going to complicate things.
Well, how
Well,
about we take a short break until you're home again, and we can, in the meanwhile, discuss, potential other, GMing and other possible campaigns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
if you guys want, I can even give a shot at doing GMing. It's just like finding non-travel times is a bit of a pain in the ass. So to actually prep everything.
Yeah. Ben, how do you like prep your campaigns?
Um, I just come with an idea. Like I come up with like the market idea, and I was like, okay, there's going to be. Oh, it was the World's Fair actually. I was with Alex at the World's Fair Pavilion in Shanghai, and I was like, I was looking at the glass. Was it Crystal Palace display? And I'm like, this is what we need to do. We need like a, um, like a big gathering of people. So it's not just we're moving around doing a whole world thing. It's just going to be like one location. So
See,
that's
okay.
my prep. I just like pick something and run with it.
So
Okay.
this book right here, Emily, is actually a D&D campaign.
Okay. Or like make something original though.
Right?
I have an idea. I just haven't fully fleshed it out, and I definitely need to like write out different encounters and all the villages and stuff. But I have like something like started. I've just never GM before, so it would be definitely shoddy stuff on my end, but I could definitely give it a
Well, you
try.
You
know,
know, it's
it
5%
honestly
prep and
is worth a shot.
95% winging it.
Yeah,
Okay, sounds
imagine
good.
how much bullshit we've been through over this time. So, like
I know,
what
but
I've
Ben
done,
is Ben's an experienced GM, so it's easier for him to roll with the punches there, so to speak.
yeah, but okay,
but
so I'm not particularly experienced, but I've ran some random ass stuff with Max and Corey and Monica and Ben in the past.
it was fun. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I've actually been able to use is use AI to help generate some stuff. So originally I refused to use AI or anything like that. But if you put in AI, what it can actually do is help you generate the monsters and everything based upon existing EM manuals and everything. So you don't have to look
Oh.
up as much.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't rely entirely on it for certain things, but if you like, I think you guys listened to when it made them face an ice giant going into like another world, like with this city that was from the ancient past or whatever. And I think it was commented that I was trying to kill them. But in reality, I wasn't. That was actually an AI generated scenario that I just kind of followed through on and adjusted slightly. And you can use AI to your benefit in that regards to try and minimize a lot of conflicts while giving you ideas.
Okay.
That's smart.
Yeah, so does never rely on it completely, but I mean, objectively, it did a decent enough job.
I like to consider
Yeah.
AI is like a tool, never the final product. That's how
Exactly.
I think of AI. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so when
If you can use
the
it to
way
give
I
you a
used it-
shell, and then you fill in the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way I use it was like, okay, generate certain level character experiences along this thing. Like first I generated a campaign for X number of sessions among X number of time long. And then from that I said, okay, this session I'm trying to have them accomplish this. And from that it gives you rough ideas, and then out of that, you can, as a GM, like fluctuate the minutia, try and fit to the particular party. And then, as the situation is going, you're like, okay, they're really struggling. Someone is going to die, and this is going to ruin the mood. So I'm going to fudge some stuff along this, give them a fighting chance.
Yeah, I got that. Okay. I might consider it because I have an idea for a world, but it's a bit like spookier in origin. But
Ooh, I
it's
like
much more
that.
open, which I think allows for a bit more chaos. Which I am very fond of chaos in D&D. I usually harbor it. So I was thinking definitely a more open world, kind of do what you want to do, and there's all these different encounters. But it's not
choose
the
your own adventure.
Yeah, the plot is not going to hinge on you guys doing the right thing, because if you do that, it's never going to work. So it's kind of like
Bear
a
in mind,
Monster Island
this sort of
type situation.
concept did leave to Alpha bombing random civilian towns by kidnapping babies to see their experiments based upon your guys' interaction. So,
Yeah.
be wary of open-ended situations.
Well, not everyone is going to be as literal as the way you play your characters are, Alex.
Well, you guys are the ones who create them. Like, every single character, even Chaka Kano, like, I make them intentionally to be, what does the party want to do with this poor creature?
It's true.
I mean,
Even
to
his
be fair,
very
so-
first character was started just as a support character.
Yeah.
Braun, remember Braun? Like, he literally
Yes.
was there just to make you guys weapons. And then you eventually, like, drew him along. And what did he do at the very end? You guys started dying, so he suicided in order to, like, nuke an entire bad guy just because, well, fuck it.
Well, it almost worked.
I think it actually did. Like,
It did
he
work.
nuked.
He died, and then he became an Asimir.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, Braun went through an entire thing where he had one goal in mind, which was to protect the people that he deemed worthy. And when they started dying, he went berserk and, yeah, killed the bad guy. And then, yeah, ascended.
Hammer of God.
Hammer of Gond, thank you very much.
Well, Gond is his god, so,
He's not wrong.
But he just likes
he
being
would
technically
insist on being
correct,
very
which is the best kind
Exactly.
of correct.
You're talking to an engineer who wants to make the best weapons possible, and you're like, well, technically. It's like, yes, exactly. Technically.
Technically. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, I have an idea on the back burner though, where there's like an island was like peaceful, and then like a queen of monsters came and took over, and she brought with her like 4 horsemen who she divvied up the land between. So like a potential end goal is to kill all the 4 horsemen and then kill the queen to like reclaim the land. Or there's a lot of other spooky encounters to do on like the island, but it's kind of a more horror vibe that it's set in.
Am I allowed
That
to
sounds
be a
awesome.
doddering old grandpa during the entire encounter?
I don't mind, yeah. I kind of think
Okay, cool.
Yeah, in my opinion, I prefer like giving you guys like the setting, and you can kind of work with that because like, all right, there's monsters here. How has that affected your character? You know, that kind of helps. I feel with the character building.
Well, so why don't we plan on the next scenario? You doing that, and then like I already have a character idea in mind where I don't want to be the stereotypical dumb party member who's been rolling around for the last 2 years. But I do want him to be like the grizzled old man type thing,
Yeah.
where he can be like the grandpa of the party. Like, oh, you youngins, you're always going about doing this higgle and dangle. Let's just go and do what we need to do.
No. We have our straight man. Yeah, I can definitely try.
Sounds good to me.
I cannot guarantee how good my jamming is, and I'll definitely need to work exclusively on that prep for a while to figure things out, but I can probably make that work. I mean, my improv is probably good enough. I'll just be like, yeah, fuck it, we can do that. Let me roll a d20 really quick.
That's usually
Awesome.
what it is. I throw a d20 just to decide, like, that's why I have you guys randomly do it. And I'm like, I do an over-under. I'll, like, throw mine and you do yours, and that way it's a totally random, I'm not making the decision. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
You know? Or the luck thing. The luck aspect, I borrowed from my friend's game years ago, where he did everything using D100s, and it was like 1 to 5 was a critical success, and 95 to 100 was a critical failure. So in between, you just kind of play it, however it works best. All right, I'm going to say thank you to everyone again, and I look forward to next time.
Yeah, good
Yay.
campaign.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been an Azentuary LLC production. Find us online at azentuary.com for character bios, merchandise, Patreon, and more. Thank you for listening.